I was reading up about you and I found out that there was some Jack Kerouac type stuff that you did early in your life where you would just board freight trains.
Oh yeah,
that's some big
that was
boys.
actually my first experience being alone. Was
you just board trains and just
well, my brother, he went hitchhiking one day. I'm younger than him by 5 or 6 years. So when I was 12, he was probably 17, and he decided to hitchhike down and visit a friend, and he hitchhiked across a couple states. He really liked the freedom of it because we had always just worked hard and gone to school and this and that. And then all of a sudden he had this whole glimpse of life where none of the schedules and none of that mattered. But he hated hitchhiking because you had to rely on other people to come pick you up. And somehow he ran into some people who were riding freight trains, and he jumped on a freight train to get to the next place he needed to go, and loved it. He ended up riding trains and kind of living on the streets. He was sober, so it wasn't an experience that you would typically see from that. But it was he did it for 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, he just rode trains and so some 5 years into his life as a hobo, I had turned 17 or 18 or whatever I was, and he invited me. Hey, Jordan, you want to go ride trains? I was like, oh, sure, why not? So I quit my job at this,
Wait, you quit your job to do that? It's not like a one-day adventure. You just go and come back. It's like, okay, now I'm going to change my life for this?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was at the time. Honestly, in hindsight, I think it was kind of a fork in my road and maybe a type of rite of passage, as a young man. But at the time, I was just like, oh, okay, sure. And quit my job and rode across all of America with him and up and down the East Coast. And then we parted ways at some point, and then I rode a train by myself back to my home. And it kind of took the whole, better part of a year or summer between all the stops and the this and the that.
Wow.
And but what was interesting was, you would know as people who are success oriented and this and that, it's you're very scheduled, and you're very, there's these lines you got to follow in life. Do this, do this, do this. And I was a little bit on that track. I had gotten a job when I was very young and kept working. And then all of a sudden that experience threw a wrench into the spokes. And all of a sudden I saw a glimpse of life that was missing from maybe what I had been experiencing, and that there was no schedule. I didn't have to, it's a poor way to articulate it, but life felt very realistic in that my needs and everything's just right there in front of me. It's not tied to earning money, which will then do this, which will then do this, which will then gratify this need. It was just I have this need and that solution.
You've hit on something so profound. I feel like something happened in modernity around the industrial age and then the computer and the digital age, where what I do for most of my day is so intangible, abstract, and roughly up in the air. It has nothing to do with survival per se. It has nothing to do with my life day to day per se. So I write Excel sheets, and then somebody just puts money in my bank, and then I spend that money to take care of my family. The latter half is very noble.
Right.
The first half is so flimsy, so plastic, at least as far as the human biology is concerned. The fact that you need dopaminergic circuits, and the fact that you need serotonin or adrenaline and all these things, now they're directed through these fucking screens all the time.
Right.
And on these screens are numbers or cells or slides or visuals that make no sense, and we use words like shareholder value and this kind of stuff. That's all abstraction. I'm not saying it's bad, dude. It built the beautiful world we live in, but they're all abstractions. And so we never truly touch grass, literally and metaphorically.
We're in a unique time now where we can, if you direct your life in such a manner or are aware of what you're talking about, you can almost have the best of both worlds. And it's kind of a struggle because the phone and the social media and that, they're a very big draw. They hit such a, oh, how many likes do I got? How many, that it really sucks you in.
Hey, he's exposing me. He's telling me what I do for a living, dude. Yes, but that is what it is. It's funny as fuck.
What I feel like when I'm in that world is that I'm hacked. I can tell that it's it's not.
It's got tendrils inside your head,
anything deep in me. It's just it's like a cheap hack for what I know is can be a much deeper experience. But the fact is through social media and stuff, you know, you run into people like you have all these cool connections, you meet people, I do a job that I love.
That's how I justify my life, by the way.
Yeah.
I tell myself I meet people like you, and then I just talk.
But then how do you find the balance? Finding that balance is a struggle. And 100%. I actually empathize for people. Like, so I'm fortunate in the fact that I do live in a rural place. I'm surrounded by mountains. I can just go up in the woods, and you know, what's fascinating is you got this little phone that when you're in civilization, it absorbs 8 hours of your day.
Yeah.
And as soon as you set it down and you go up in the woods, it's like you don't even miss it for a minute. It's like it's not like you're like, boy, I wonder what's happening on X right now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I wonder what President Trump announced today. Nobody
what
thinks
meme
that,
did I miss?
Yeah, exactly. What was that funny forward my friend sent? You don't think that
you
shit.
You don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just know you've been hacked because you get rid of it, and it's all of a sudden all that time that would have been absorbed by something that you don't miss when you set it down. It's very strange. But again, it's a mixed bag because we get to do amazing stuff at the same time, make great connections. But it really requires a lot, almost too much of us, of our own like self-control to like keep that as a minimum. I have that advantage, like I said, that I can go in the woods. And
yeah.
I'm kind of dreading when Starlink is everywhere and it's going to take self-discipline all the time to keep them.
Dude, I said this to him the other day, and Ansh is like, what are you saying? I said, you know, I really enjoy the fact that there's no Wi-Fi in planes because it's one of those moments I cannot be hacked. Like, I have to remain zen. I have to be alive to the white noise and the air hostess trying to offer me pretzels I don't want. Like, you have to be alive to that, whatever you might say. The only other time that ever happens is when you're throwing up. Because there's no scope for you. Like, people are even on their... Like, people have a weird mental thing also happening when they're fucking. You know what I mean? Even in that, like, intimate, private moment, you are still kind of not really there. But when you're throwing up and when you're on an airplane, you're still pretty alive.
Pay attention next time I throw up. Really appreciate
you'll be thinking about it. You'll be like, wow, I just had a spiritual zen moment. I was completely here.
Prakhar, you should come on the mountains sometime with me. It'll be like, that's another place where you're like, more alive, and the rain's raining on you. And you were talking about earlier, I think before we started recording, about how weird Europeans and Americans are with their
outdoor
penchant to torture ourselves.
Dude, it's the craziest thing. You can predict... I'm not even saying this like with racial intentions, but you can predict that this shit was done by somebody who's white and this shit was done by somebody who's black or Indian or whatever. Because there's a behavioral symptom to it, right? Like, I will never find an Indian guy jumping off a wingsuit in the Swiss Alps. There's just no way an Indian guy's like, I grew up 30 years, worked hard, my parents paid for my education, now I'm going to jump off a cliff. There's just no fucking way. An Asian guy's being like, you know what? Let's go into the woods and let's spend like 5 weeks alone in a cabin. There's no way. They're too busy doing science or too busy like building something. But
so interesting.
Europeans and North Americans, Canadians to a great degree, these guys really enjoy the wilderness. Really enjoy the sense of like, why this Saturday feels like I should climb a mountain alone. You know Alex Honnold? To think, you know what? This wall, I'm going to climb it without a rope.
I'm going to take the rope off.
Can you imagine an Indian guy being like, you know what? This wall, I'm going to Spider-Man that shit. Never.
It's such an interesting cultural difference, but...
We'll lay the engineering for it. We'll find the ropes that go down so you can climb up on it later. We'll do that. We'll be standing downstairs with chalk and pads so that if you fall, we'll catch you. But there's no fucking way anybody's paying me enough to do that.
I'm sure we have a lot to learn from each other, yeah.
Bro, अभी तो हमने बिल्कुल surface scratch किया है. If you want to know कि क्या मस्त, interesting, innovative, unique conversation, which was a full conversation, तो आप जाओ main channel पे और click करो यहाँ.